A concept that I find really interesting is whether YouTubers are detached from reality. After all, I am a full-time YouTuber, and it's something I think about a lot. And I think if you asked the average person if YouTubers are detached, I think they'd say yes. In fact, I've gotten this answer many times, and I see it all the time. It's the idea that they're not living in the real world, and they're in their own ecosphere, or their own bubble. And I feel like I'm in an interesting position because I am a full-time YouTuber, that's my full-time career, but I have a relatively small channel. So yeah, 10 years ago, 100,000 subs, you're in the top of YouTube. You're in like the top 1% of YouTubers, but now 100,000 is like next to nothing when you see channels with 10, 20, 50, 100 million subscribers. Personally, I categorize YouTubers into two groups, hobbyists and professionals. I consider myself a small professional YouTuber because yes, it's my full-time job, but I've got 500,000 subs, which compared to most professionals is not that much. On the other end, many people, in fact, the far majority of people, do YouTube as a hobby. Maybe they make money from it, but it's not their full-time career, or they're just a student in high school, college, or even middle school. So while 100,000 subscribers, I think that makes you a big hobbyist YouTuber, that's really small as a professional YouTuber. That's not that much nowadays. So I feel like I have an interesting foot in both areas because I'm pretty small, but I still have a day-to-day life. I'm not that giga famous, people coming up to me every day, living in a whole separate world. However, I do still think I am more detached than the average YouTuber from reality. Because basically, it took me about 5 years of YouTube videos to make money to the extent where I'm like, oh, this could be my job. Many people do this, it usually takes about 5 years. But the difference is I was a kid in school, and so I never had to worry about the money the first 5 years. But if you are an adult, you're probably working a job while building your YouTube channel, and then eventually you quit your job and YouTube becomes your full-time career. That means that if you had that path, you are living more in the real world than someone like me, whose entrance into the workforce wasn't even really into the workforce, it was into online video making. But the reason I think it's interesting is because I actually disagree that sure, I am detached in many ways. I think that we're a lot less detached than the average person thinks, even if you have 100 million subscribers. Because if you think about like celebrities, and I believe that these people are truly living in their own bubble, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it is important. I think if you're at that level, you kind of have to. But there are some key differences. So for example, if you think about a big celebrity, most celebrities, for example, date people that are also celebrities because you're on the same level. There's not that power dynamic and you can understand one another, and you can meet another celebrity. Not only will they kind of understand, but you can also feel safer probably in comparison to throwing yourself out there to just anyone. That could be a hyper fan, that could be a stalker, that could be dangerous, because there's this extra level of risk when you reach that level. But when it comes to YouTubers, it's a bit different. You don't see that many YouTubers or any social media influencer, for example, dating other YouTubers. So yeah, it happens all the time. But there's also a ton of people that literally just begin to date either random people. People come across YouTubers on Tinder, and many YouTubers end up dating people who are technically their fans, people that view their videos. The difference to me is a YouTuber actually does not have that much of a power dynamic because the far majority, well over 99%, are living pretty normal lives. So when you think of a celebrity, you don't really know them personally most of the time. You will generally know their characters, and you know that they're playing a character. Aside from a small group of people who truly obsess over them and maybe are actually in themselves detached from reality, believing that this celebrity, like that's them. Like, I have to think of an analogy. I know Johnny Depp from the recent trials, like people seeing Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, most people know that he's not actually a pirate. But when it comes to a YouTuber just making videos about their lifestyle or things they do, that most of the time is actually very real to their personal life, and you know them on a much more personal level, and it goes both ways. So as a YouTuber, if you're living a pretty normal life and you happen to get a lot of people tuning into your videos, it doesn't mean that you don't go shopping at Walmart and you don't wake up and get in your normal car to go to the bank, I don't know, make a deposit. What else do normal people do? Go hang out, go watch a movie or something. After all, the average YouTuber is not actually making that much more money than the average person in the workforce. So yeah, we usually hear about the top 1% making, like Markiplier, what does he make? Like 40 million a year. But even with Mark himself, he lives most likely a pretty normal life, where the only differences that he has day to day is that he is not in the workforce. He's essentially running his own business. And yeah, he lives in a nice house. He drives a pretty nice car. But ultimately, the biggest difference that he has from normal life is that everywhere he goes, people are going to know who he is. Even if you don't watch him, you're probably going to recognize his face, if not his voice. Or you're going to recognize the group of people around him, because personally I haven't met him, but I have a feeling that anywhere he goes, he's going to be swarmed with people the way that a celebrity might if they are a higher up celebrity. But the difference is many celebrities are purposely going to disconnect from all of those normal day-to-day activities that a YouTuber would not experience. And I think there's a reason that many YouTubers live in kind of the same area. So like there's that part of Los Angeles where you'll probably just find YouTubers like at every other house, and your neighbors are YouTubers, if not other higher up celebrities. But when you come down to the average YouTuber making a full-time income, they're not at their level. They're making 30, 50, 70, maybe $100,000 a year, all of which fall into a pretty normal category with pretty normal neighbors and pretty normal lives. There's a lot that comes along with that. So personally, none of my neighbors know that I'm a YouTuber. I have a complete alter ego in my personal day-to-day life. I have a fake job. I actually use a fake name most of the time. Everything is different because I want that disconnection, primarily in my case for safety, which on a personal level, it's actually even more different because I keep exotic animals, which just does not mix well. So for example, in past homes I've lived in, people have discovered that I keep a lot of reptiles, and that led to a lot of not fun things, from animal control coming to my house to people not only treating me differently but harassing me in general. And it gave me this pretty stark reminder that I need to have a pretty extreme level of privacy and achieve that the best I can. So I'm not in like a gated community. I'm in just a literally normal house in a normal middle class neighborhood in a normal part of the country. And that is what the average YouTuber is experiencing, which is why I feel like that they actually are not necessarily detached from reality. So again, am I? Yeah, probably. So my current belief is that the average person making videos and paying their bills by making said videos are not actually detached from reality. Is that they're living in two realities, because most people are going to hide it from their neighbors and hide it from anyone they know in person that they can't personally trust with that information. So who knows that I'm a YouTuber? Well, my girlfriend, my family, and people that work with me professionally. So my accountants, my local shipping and mailing center, since I do a lot of stuff with merchandise and shipping animals and stuff. And that's about it. Everyone else that has met me in person, unless they came up to me as a viewer recognizing me, they have a completely different idea of who I am, because I'm living that separate life. When I go to pick up food, that's honestly all I do. I don't do that much outside the house. When I go to pick up food, I'm living in what I feel is a pretty normal reality. The only difference is when I make money, it's not me going into an office and then coming back home. But then again, many people that are not YouTubers are now working from home, working for themselves, working with a small business, whether it's a different social media or it's freelance or it's exactly the work that they were doing in an office and now simply do from home. So why am I talking about this? Honestly, I don't know. I just think it's a really interesting idea because, and I guess I've been thinking about it because I've been living in my current home for over a year now, and this is the longest time that I've had to build this alternate reality of life, and it's a little bit stressful, I will admit. Some of my neighbors have begun to get to know me a little bit better, and they ask deeper questions, and they ask more about my fake job and my fake life. And it's all artificial. And I'm actually, I hate to say it, but I'm anxious that some of them are going to find out what I do. But why? Why does it matter? Well, it leads back to the idea of how people know you and the safety side of it. So again, with a celebrity, let's say you find a celebrity's house and they don't live in like a mega mansion. They're just maybe a small actor in like a small show that you happen to watch. You still don't know them personally. You just know their characters, and the average sane person knows that they only know their characters. So yeah, if you see them in person, you might be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I love the work that you do. But when it comes to an online social media person, they don't love the work that you do. They love you. They love whatever you put out in videos, which can be safely assumed is actually you. Even if you put on a character on your channel, it's you. They see your face, you're holding the camera, you're editing the videos. And so this adds a safety concern, because this could have both excited people out for you and malicious people out for you. It's why that getting swatted is one of the biggest fear, probably the biggest fear of streamers. For example, Twitch live streamers. If you don't know what swatting is, it's where you pretend that someone, while they're streaming, is going to kill someone or is keeping somebody hostage. So if you happen to find the address of say a Twitch streamer, and you're not a great person and have a very confusing idea of what's funny, you call a SWAT team to this person's house. The SWAT team shows up ready to kill whoever's behind the door, when in reality they're just like playing COD in their bedroom. They bust in, and people have died this way. People have been killed from swatting, and that is probably why it's their biggest fear. In fact, some people have been swatted so many times, like Keemstar, that they don't even come to his house anymore. The local police literally just call him and say, "Hey Keem, someone said that somebody's hostage in your basement again. There's nobody in your basement, right?" And he's like, "Nope, we're good." And they just don't go to his house anymore. It's to the point that many Twitch streamers specifically plan to never purchase a house, because they simply have to move every single year. Every time the lease ends on their current rental home or rental apartment, they have to move again. Some go so far as to never rent a home or even a townhouse. They specifically only rent apartments with security, where nobody can even access their front door unless they are let through by someone at the front office of the apartment, because it's just too risky and too dangerous to invest your money into a property when you're most likely going to get doxxed at some point and have to move again in just a few months, for possibly the rest of their lives. And I think one of the big reasons that people swat Twitch streamers, for example, is because you can actually have an effect on most online influencers' lives. Not only by messaging them, because they'll possibly see it, leaving a comment, they might see it, or actually interfering with their personal lives, because you can have access to the content that they're making. Now, swatting is not as common when it comes to YouTubers, because the goal with swatting is to actually see a raid on live stream. But if you swat a YouTuber, they're not live streaming. So if the SWAT team goes, you're not going to get the joy that apparently comes from almost ruining somebody's life, and your own if you get caught. And so there's that difference there. However, people still do very malicious things to YouTubers, because you can have this personal vendetta against them. You can have something personally against them. It's not their character saying an opinion you don't like, it's them, and it's a person. So the same way, if one of your friends or one of your coworkers or one of your neighbors says something that you don't like, you're gonna have something personally against them. But when you're saying these things online, even if it's not that controversial, even if it's just something you do, if it's just something that ticks somebody off, there's a higher chance to tick somebody really crazy off, because it's not just the 5 neighbors around you that know about you, it's the 500, 500,000, 5 million people that have heard or seen what you've said or done, and there's probably going to be a couple crazies in there that pose a higher risk. So for example, being a Twitch streamer, being a female online influencer, you're most likely going to have a much riskier time, since most predatory stuff is targeted towards that. If you're a child online, the same way, yeah, there's child stars, and they've apparently have not had the best experiences. Like, I've followed Jeanette McCurdy for a while, and she had like a horrible experience as a child star. It's the same way where if you're a child YouTuber or you're a child in a family vlog, it's these people that are personally gonna have something against you, or people that really like you and really want to be with you. And I think that's why VTubers, for example, are a lot more common, where if you were to ask the average YouTuber, if you could go back, would you show your face? Would you stay anonymous? Because there's been anonymous YouTubers for years, but it's becoming more common, especially with like VTuber technology, not only because you can create a more artificial character and kind of mold them to who you want and how you want them to act and look, but also from a safety perspective, because you are living in a normal reality, you just happen to have viewers online. But yeah, if you asked most YouTubers, if you could show your face, would you, or would you change it? I would guess most would say that they would prefer to be anonymous, myself included, honestly. Now the difference is, it's harder to grow without that personal level. The personality of a YouTuber is extremely important because people watch YouTubers for that personal feeling and for that personal connection, and in many cases for that parasocial relationship, which is the idea that you have a personal, strong relationship with somebody and they don't have it back to you. When I was a kid, I would say that I had parasocial relationships with the people that I watched. For example, I'm a huge PewDiePie fan. He's been my favorite YouTuber for over 7 years now, and 7 years ago I was 15. And when I was 15, I didn't really understand the relationship between a YouTuber and the viewer because I was a kid and it was pretty new to me. Yeah, I'm sure many 15-year-olds watching this are not as stupid as I was, but a lot of 50-year-olds watching this could very likely have parasocial relationships. So as I got older, as of now, I'm still a huge fan of him. I'm aware he doesn't know who I am. He's never heard of me. Even in the slight chance he's seen my thumbnail before on his home feed, and he even hearted my comment before on a YouTube video. I was excited, but I knew that he will not remember that comment. He doesn't remember that comment. That's not the relationship that I had with him when I was younger, when I felt a much stronger connection. Not to the point of like, I'm in love with him, but to the point that like, to me, he feels like a very close friend, but to him, I'm non-existent. And that's an increasingly common thing that people are experiencing with those that they watch because it's very foreign. And I don't think people are really built to like have such a close relationship with someone they've never actually met before, because you get this daily look into their life. Even if they are putting on a fake persona, you're getting a daily look into a life that seems real to you, a look into their life that you don't even get into your family's lives, because you're not like at your mom's house every day watching her every move as she cooks food and vlogs and live streams her going to the store and all these different things that many online creators will do, because after all, the more content they make and the more personal they become, the stronger bonds they make with those viewers, which not only is truly an enjoyable experience. I've experienced this recently with live streaming. I get to know my viewers a lot better. If you're one of those people that tune into a live stream and you comment on every stream, I'm a channel size where I recognize those names each stream, and I can remember personal attributes about you. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know what your face looks like. And while I have built friendships through streams and through like viewers and through like Discord servers and stuff, I mostly don't know you on a personal level, but I do remember personal attributes about you. I remember what you do, if you've talked about it. I remember what you like and don't like on stream, and I pretty much know parts of your personality. And then on the flip side, you get to know me better on stream. I feel like I'm able to better put myself in the shoes of not only what a big YouTuber is, but also what a Twitch streamer is like on the other side, because I've always been so interested and so curious of what the life of a Twitch streamer is like. That I can kind of experience that, because I get recognized not that often, but I also don't put myself in places with lots of people around. I go to stores on the weird off hours. I go anytime I am doing something outside of the house. It's usually literally outside on trails or driving around somewhere, or just in my own backyard, like on my own property. So in times that I do actually enter the true real world, I go to Target after rush hour. Then I usually get recognized about once a week, which is not to the extent where I can't live a normal life, because some people, they walk into a building and they have to get escorted out by security because there's so many people surrounding them. For me, I'll just be buying deodorant and then one person sparks up a conversation because they know who I am, which is very manageable in comparison to if every time I enter a store, there's like 6 people coming from different angles, because I'm not at that level of popularity. And I can officially say I literally never desire to reach that level of popularity, because that sounds horrible. So my personal opinion, am I living in the real world? Not really. But can I understand the real world? I think so. I don't think I'm so detached that I don't even understand it the way some people do, but I also can understand the life of a YouTuber, especially a bigger YouTuber, even if I'm not at that level. And now as I learn to stream more often, I've done like a dozen streams the past month, I'm understanding the life of a Twitch streamer more. So I feel like I have an interesting perspective. And so currently my thoughts, which will probably change, is that no, they actually, online creators are not as detached as people make them out to be. I'm not saying that their lives are better or worse, because I think it varies person to person, or easier or harder, because I feel like I've seen both experiences where people have dead easy lives, they do whatever they want, and people that are really struggling both in the real world and the online world, and they're just not merging well at all. I think that there's pros and cons to all of them, and I've learned that many people have much more altered, I guess, an alter ego, that people have very strong alter egos online versus in person that I did not realize. So in my case, my online ego is actually more real than my offline ego, because I live kind of a fake life to everyone around me, aside from my family and close people that I know. And on the flip side, many people are living an extremely real life offline, but a total character online. I recently watched a video of Nux Taku being interviewed by Anthony Padilla. My guess would be that he actually lives a very normal real life. Very few people actually that he knows know he's a YouTuber. He probably has a very altered personality online. Maybe not, I don't know, I've never talked to him. He doesn't know who I am either. But because he's a VTuber, he can create whatever personality he wishes that's most entertaining, most fun to put on, and yeah, I mean, whatever he wants. When in person, he probably lives a bit of a normal life. Then again, I don't believe he tells people around him that he's a YouTuber either. Or is he a Twitch streamer? I guess he's both a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber. And there's one idea I forgot to add. This is why I need to write video outlines, because I always forget. But it's the other idea of how many online YouTubers, they end up not making enough money anymore. Even in my experience, my revenue's been going down. Maybe someday I'll have to get another job or work something else. And this is pretty common. One of my favorite YouTube channels, Andrew Hales, LAHWF, he recently re-entered part of the workforce. He's worked at Amazon, he's done food delivery, and people recognize him and they're like, why are you here? And he's like, because I need some money. I need a job like a normal person. If you were to see, say, Johnny Depp working in an Amazon facility, you'd be like, what is going on? Because you just don't really hear of the classic celebrity type people in those sort of positions. It's very rare for them to go back into the workforce. One experience is, I forgot their real names, Zach and Cody, Cole and Dylan Sprouse. They re-entered very normal lives after many acting jobs, after doing the shows that I grew up watching, like Zach and Cody and Sweet Life on Deck. I forgot which one. One of them worked as a waiter for a while, and another one opened his own beer brewery. And the reason that was such a popular story is because you never hear of that. But when a YouTuber, if their views just casually start dropping down, they're like, well, I gotta pay my rent, so I'm gonna go start working at Amazon or just a normal place. And I think a lot of them realize, oh wow, I was pretty dang detached from reality, because now I'm literally living the average reality, when many others never experienced that. So maybe I'll have to at some point. We'll find out. You'll just stay tuned and see if I can't pay my mortgage anymore. And who knows, maybe someday you'll end up being Uber driven by me. And ultimately, it wouldn't be that weird. After talking to me, you'd be like, why are you here? I'd be like, I kind of ran out of money. Now I'm working a job. You'd be like, oh, okay. You talk to me in the Uber, you'd realize I'm a pretty normal person. But if you were waiting for your Uber and some mega celebrity pulled up, you'd be like, because once you're at that level, generally you're gonna have enough connections that you can probably figure things out for most of your life. But if you're just making videos online and you're just making an average human income, you can still pretty much lose your job or just lose interest and want to do something else like a normal person would. You're working at Target, maybe the Target closes, you go work at another place. Same thing can happen online. You're working as an Instagram model, your revenue, how do Instagram models make money? However they do, they lose their revenue. Well, now to go work at a different place. I think it's really interesting. I'm curious on your thoughts about this, whether you're watching as a YouTuber or not, or as a Twitch streamer, as an Instagram model, an OnlyFans creator, whatever you are. I wanted to throw out my perspective because I feel like I have a very comfortable in the middle feeling of it all. And I like the topic, so that's that. So am I real online? Kinda. I think I morph my personality for videos. My most real personality comes out on live streams. And my fakest personality is actually my offline personality. So my real world is very fake compared to my online experience. But at the end of the day, am I detached from reality? Let's be honest, yeah, I pretty much am.